So what is the secret to success? It's a question we've all asked, right? Well, today we're going to unpack this really powerful and honestly kind of shocking story about the philosopher Socrates that might just answer it for good.
I mean, really think about it. It's the question that drives almost everyone, from artists to entrepreneurs. What's that one thing, that single secret ingredient that separates the people who do from the people who just dream? Our story kicks off with a young man who got the chance to ask one of the wisest people in history that exact question.
All right, so let's set the scene. We're in ancient Greece. There's this young, determined guy who's just tired of dreaming. He decides he's going to find the one person he thinks actually knows the answer, the great philosopher Socrates.
He finds Socrates and doesn't beat around the bush. He asks him straight up, what's the secret to success? He's probably expecting some long lecture, maybe a formula, some kind of magic words. But Socrates, he doesn't give him any of that. Instead, he just gives him a really strange invitation.
That's it. That's all he says. Meet me by the river tomorrow. No explanation, no context, just a time and a place. The young man, he's probably a little confused, but hey, it's Socrates, so he agrees. He has absolutely no idea what he's just gotten himself into.
So the next morning rolls around, and the young man shows up at the river, totally buzzing with anticipation. Socrates is there, just waiting. But there are no books, no lecture notes, just the river. The lesson is about to begin, and it's not what anyone would expect.
Socrates doesn't even mention the word success. He just gestures for the young man to follow him, right into the water. So they start walking. First, the water's at their ankles, then their knees, then their waists. The whole time, the young guy is just following along, trusting the old philosopher as they go deeper and deeper.
And this is where the story takes a hard left turn. This is not some calm, philosophical chat anymore. Oh no, this is about to become a literal fight for survival.
So picture this. They're deep in the river now, with the water all the way up to their necks. The current's tugging at them. The young man has got to be thinking, what in the world does this have to do with anything? And then, completely out of the blue,
Socrates grabs the boy's head and shoves it underwater, just like that. It's violent, it's sudden, it's completely unexpected. The boy's whole world just becomes this silent, chaotic blur. Pure panic just takes over. The boy is thrashing, kicking, clawing. He's fighting with every ounce of strength he has to get back to the air. But Socrates is way stronger, and he just holds him down, firmly. Seconds start to feel like an eternity. His lungs are on fire. He's held down right to the absolute edge, until he's literally starting to turn blue. Then, just as the boy's about to black out, Socrates rips his head out of the water. And what's the very first thing he does? He doesn't scream, he doesn't ask why. He takes this massive, desperate, explosive gasp for air. It's just pure animal instinct.
Okay, so the boy's on the riverbank, coughing up water, just trying to breathe. And now the real lesson begins. The physical test is over, but the philosophical one is just getting started.
Socrates looks at him, totally calm, and asks this one simple question. When you were under there, he says, what was the one thing, the only thing you wanted more than anything else?
And the boy, without even thinking, gives the only possible answer. It wasn't money, it wasn't fame, it wasn't even knowledge. It was just air, the most basic, urgent need a person can have.
And that's the big reveal. Socrates looks at him and says, that feeling you just had, that all-consuming, desperate, can't think of anything else need for a breath of air, that is the secret to success. So here's the takeaway. It's not about casually wanting something. Success isn't a hobby. Real success happens when your desire for your goal is just as intense, just as vital as your need for air when you're drowning. When you want it that badly, you'll find a way to make it happen. Period.
It's a pretty brutal lesson, you have to admit. But what does it actually mean for us, right here, right now? Let's try and take that ancient wisdom and see how it fits into our own lives.
According to Socrates, this is it. The secret isn't some trick or a hack or knowing the right people. It's all about the intensity of your desire. It's the difference between saying, I'd like to have that, and I need that, like I need air. That kind of burning need, well, it becomes the engine that pushes you through every single obstacle. That, he says, is the only secret there is.
And so that leaves us with one last, pretty simple but really profound question to ask ourselves. Think about your biggest goal in life right now. Do you just want it, or do you need it?
like your next breath. How badly do you really want it? Because according to this story, finding that level of drive isn't about finding a secret, it's about becoming the secret yourself.